Tax cut legislation in Washington is a swiftly moving target these days, but experts at the Montana Department of Revenue have analyzed its likely impacts to Montana income taxpayers. Based on an early version of the tax cut bill before the U.S. Senate, here's some of what they found. Overall, the 500,000 Montana households who file federal income tax returns would pay nearly $800 million less in federal taxes next year if the bill passes. About one-third of those households would see only minimal changes to their federal tax bill, less than $50 a year. Yet nearly two-thirds of the tax-paying households in Montana would see a reduction of more than $50 a year, or at least 2% of their tax burden. Also, a huge chunk of the reductions flows to upper-income earners. Nearly half of the entire estimated cut in Montana, $386 million, goes to the top 3% of earners here, the approximately 15,000 households making more than $196,000 a year. These households would get an average tax cut of almost $26,000 each. Now let's look at the middle tier of Montana households, those earning between $20,000 and $64,000 a year. This group would get an average cut of about $700 a year, and almost 80% of these 200,000 households should expect to see their taxes cut by more than $50 a year. In the lowest earning third of Montana households, about 70% would see little or no tax changes under the bill, but the average reduction per household would still be about $290 next year. It's estimated that one-fourth of this group would see tax cuts of more than $50 a year. Only about 1% of Montana households are expected to pay higher federal income taxes under the tax revision bill, and most of those would be in the middle income ranges. Democratic U.S. Senator Jon Tester says he's a big no on the bill, which passed out of committee Tuesday. He says it explodes the deficit and benefits wealthy out-of-staters instead of Montanans. Montana's Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte notes that the House tax cut bill does not lower the top income tax rate and says it gives benefits to all income categories. Republican Senator Steve Daines says he'd like changes in the Senate bill to ensure smaller businesses are treated fairly. The State Revenue Department analysis did not analyze the impacts of the bill's corporate tax cuts in Montana. Still, we have a pretty good idea of who would benefit from these cuts directly and by how much. Now we'll see if Republicans can pass a bill. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MT.